Yeah, y'all doing out there in video land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Today we got an unboxing. Unboxing today. Yeah. Where's it coming from? MidwayUSA. Got two items in here. And I know what it is. And looking at the table, y'all might be able to guess. Because y'all know that I had something coming up. The ones that follow me anyway. They know I had something coming up. And doing the unboxing today, it's going to be my left-hand carry, 20 CV, my dirty blade. Let me wipe it off. Didn't wipe it off the last time I used it, people. Sorry about that. This one gets used all the time. All right. Demco Shark Cup with the clip blade, slot-free clip blade, 20 CV. Super thin blade, super nice slicer. I haven't had to resharpen or even strop this one. It's been holding its edge really well. It's a fun knife to carry. This one with the G10 handle scales and big pivot. Absolutely love it, people. All right, let's get busy. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see how we're gonna open it. I guess we'll open up from the top. All right. That's the only small knife you're gonna see right now. This is a big cold steel day. This is a big cold steel day. It's a day for the big cold steels. Oh yeah, my final two replacements. I might have to get another one, people. I see they kept bringing back the XL Recon 1. And it's going to have CTS-XHP. CTS-XHP. They only have the clip blade, it looks like, though. They don't see the Tonto blade. Sort of like they did with the Italian one. But it's going to have a CTS-XHP blade. I noticed a lot of their new knives are going to have CTS-XHP again. I wonder if it's because of the stuff going on with Crucible. They might have made alternative plans to get places to get alternative steel to get their steels from. I don't know. I don't know, people. I don't know. None of this is based on any kind of fact or anything. It's just my thoughts. My thoughts. I don't know what you all think, and I have the inside scoop. I do not have the inside scoop. All right. What we got here? A new large Espada. A new large Espada. Blade, 5.5 inches. Overall length, 12 1/4 inches. Steel, Japanese AUS 10A. Weight, 9.2 ounces. We're going to find out if that's true or not. Blade thickness, 3.7 millimeters. That sounds right. Handle length, 6 3/4 inches. Made out of G, and the scales are made out of G10. That's that one. What's this one? Oh, yeah. This is the one I've been waiting for. The Frenzy. The Frenzy. I'm going to do a mod for this one, people. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. But all y'all that know me, you might be able to guess. You might be able to guess. You might be able to guess what mod I would do for this one. Here it is here, people. The Frenzy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where are the specs on this one? Blade length, 5.5 inches. Overall length, 12 1/4 inches. Steel, CPM S35 VN. Weight, 5.7 ounces. Love it. Blade thickness, 3.4 millimeters. That sounds right. Handle length, 6 3/4. Dual tone G10. Absolutely love these, people. These are the final two I was going to get for my mega folder collection. These are all new mega folders I have purchased since GSM took over. There's a couple more that I have. I have another Talwar and holdout set that are plain edges, but I didn't bring them out here because they're the same thing as these, just with plain edges. And I didn't have enough room. So those don't get to be out here. These are the ones those are the ones that are in my safe right now. These are the ones that are out, my serrated versions, the new serrated versions. And let me see what else. Let me see. I have another one of these too, but I've never even taken out the packaging. It's still in the packaging. It came in a blister pack. It was a gift from Cold Steel. when I purchased my my 5 Max, the Cold Steel 5 Max. They gave me one of these in a blister pack. I'd never even opened it because I already had one. Okay, I might give that one away. Maybe I ought to give that one away in a giveaway for when I get to different subscriber points. Maybe I'll save that one for that. All right, people. But all these knives right here, these are all knives that stay out. They go in my motorcycle, what I call my motorcycle drawer. My motorcycle drawer is where I put all my extra large folders. As you all know, I have my rotation drawer where I keep all my daily carried knives. These are all my daily carried knives that I carry every day back and forth to work and whatnot. Whenever I don't want to carry a mega folder. But these are all like, pretty much my favorite mega folders that Cold Steel makes, people. And like when I say that, I mean I like the Ti-Lites. I like all the Ti-Lites. These aren't my 2 favorite Ti-Lites. I like all the Ti-Lites. I like all the Ti-Lites. I like all the Mayhems. I like all the Espadas. I like all the holdouts. I like all the Talwars. Like all the, I already like all the Espadas. I like all the Voyagers. I don't care what blade type that you like. It's all up to you. The Voyager series and the Recon series, they make all sorts of different blade types for you, whichever blade type you want. Same thing goes, they make several different blade types now with the Ti-Lites now, too. They have the bayonet, the Kris, and now the clip blade. So, you got choices with that one, too. But these, it's either that you choose either you get a serrated or a plain edge for the counterpoints. And they come in different sizes. These are all the extra large. These are all the ones I like the best in these sizes. All right, people. So let's go ahead and see what the new ones look like. Let's see what the new ones look like. All right. These knives will be staying up. These aren't collectors. These are the ones I'll be carrying now. Whoa, that's a bright blue. That's a blue. Perfectly centered. Frenzy. Ooh, this one's a little bit smoother than the previous ones I've had. Yeah, that's a lot smoother. It feels a lot smoother, people. The first one I had, where's the first? This is the first one I had. The first Frenzy. This is my favorite Frenzy. It's been all broken in and modified to the point where it's not hard to use anymore. But when I first bought it, it was a bear. Because it wouldn't go into like a fixed blade mode, but it was just like the spring was so hard. It was like it was just really hard to use this knife. And I had to modify the tension on the spring by shortening it a little bit and rounding it off and thinning it out a little bit and modifying it a little bit. So I got to a spring tension where I was able to operate the knife easily. This one feels right. This one feels almost like this one. Now this one though, I am going to modify, people. This one's going to get modified. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm not, because this shade of blue is not working for me, people. That shade of blue is not working for me. So, yes, I'm going to pull these scales off. I have another set of scales that are the gray ones I bought off of eBay. I've had them for a long time. And yes, guess what I'm going to do with them? I'm going to red dye them, people. I'm going to make a purple Frenzy. So that's one you sort of expect on seeing on this one. It'll probably be my project next week or something like that. Not this week. What am I putting it in the box for? This one stays out. Let's see. Let's pull this one off the table because this one's taking its place. This is my old Frenzy. This is going to be the new one. It's going to be a purple Frenzy, people. It's going to be a purple one. And this is my old Espada. It's been totally polished. The internal parts of it's been totally polished so I can get to operate as smoothly as possible. And this one is, look at that. I had this one perfected, people. This knife is perfected. And you know what? I'm going to perfect the new one too. But this one was pretty smooth as, you know, from the get-go. You know, so it wasn't too bad. So that one didn't need a whole lot of work. Like my old Frenzy did. And that's how, you know, that's how cold steel knives are sometimes, people. Sometimes they're kind of hit and miss. You know, I'm going to say it. Sometimes they're kind of hit and miss. Because sometimes you get a really good one, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes you get one that needs a little bit of work. You know, usually though, with, you know, pretty much, I would say 95% of the cold steel knives I've received in the last 20 years, or maybe, because I've been buying cold steel knives since 2001. It's 2025 now. Figure it out. So in that many years, in the total time I've been buying cold steel knives, as you all can see, I buy a lot of cold steel knives. So I have a lot of experience with buying cold steel knives. That's the point I'm trying to put out there. I would say 95% of them are perfect, but there's like 5% that aren't. And when, you know, and sometimes, you know, they're so not perfect that you have to return them, or you know, replace them, or have, you know, send them back to cold steel. My advice is to always purchase your knives from companies that have good return policies. MidwayUSA has an awesome return policy. I've returned a couple of knives to Midway, and it was like no problem, and they replaced them with perfect knives. So I trust Midway. I trust Knife Center. Knife Center same way. Knife Center same way. I've never had to return anything to Blade HQ, but I have purchased a lot of knives from Blade HQ. And same thing goes for Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I have returned knives from Smoky Mountain Knife Works before, no problem. No problem, and I purchased other knives from them. Dimco Knives, I've purchased a lot of knives from Dimco Knives website too. And I've never had to return anything because everything I get from there is always perfect. But same thing goes for the Cold Steel website. I've purchased a lot of things from the Cold Steel website, and I've never had any issues from them either. So, you know, but I have had issues with knives I got from Midway, and I had to send them back or get them replaced or get refunded. And, you know, but I probably the bulk of my knives I buy from Midway, people. Probably the majority of my cold steel collection has come from MidwayUSA. MidwayUSA, and back in the old days, back in the first, you know, the old days, like in the early 2000s and stuff like that, I was an eBayer. I was an eBay seller and stuff like that. So I used to buy a lot of things off of eBay from other sellers that I you know, built up relationships with, and so I knew that they were legitimate sellers. But you know, just, I mean, you got to be kind of leery though, because like buying things off of eBay and Amazon, you got to make sure that the people that you're buying off are legit and they're selling legitimate products and they're authorized by Cold Steel. If you're buying Cold Steel products, don't buy things from people that aren't authorized. Unless it's like a, you know, like a collectible item that, you know, is going to have to come from an unauthorized person. I'm talking about like brand new products, things that are being advertised as brand new and stuff like that. I wouldn't buy them from anybody that wasn't unauthorized, because I want warranty coverage. I want to be able to return it if something's wrong with it or something like that. And eBay is, you know, is a good company, because even if you receive something, I have received things that weren't real on eBay, and I let eBay know about it, and you file a little case or whatever, and then you get your refund and all that kind of stuff, you know. So that eBay has a lot of protections in it, and that's what I sort of like about eBay. I've never really had a problem with Amazon yet. I haven't had a problem with Amazon, but, you know, I haven't been dealing with Amazon as long as I've been dealing with eBay. But anyway, let's get back to these. Let's get back to these, people. But that's my advice, people. Buy from authorized dealers, and do your research before you buy something. Just don't, you know, impulse buy. Do your research before you buy something, and make sure you're getting what you're supposed to be getting. And I know, you know, companies like MidwayUSA has those super duper sales, but, you know, they have connections with Cold Steel. That's my belief. And I believe that Cold Steel, when they want to dump something, or they want to get rid of something, or, you know, something like that, that they give it to the places like Midway, where they, you know, Midway can sell them really quick. Oh, here we go, Espada, people. Espada time. Brand new Espada. I was telling people that when you get the blister packs, it looks like you don't get a left-hand clip, an extra left-hand clip. Things come in the boxes, they always give you the left-hand clip. I don't know why they're not doing the blister packs. Maybe it's because it's harder to package it that way or something. I don't know. There we go. Looks good. Looks good, people. Now all my favorites will be replaced. And the only one I need to get is the one that's not available yet. What is it? The Recon. The new Recon XL. Coming out with CTS-XHP, people. DLC coded in CTS-XHP. I love it. I love it. This is the one that's getting replaced. Oh, man, this is a beautiful knife. This is a beautiful knife. Now I have officially replaced all my favorite mega folders with the new GSM models. So this mission is complete now. This mission is complete, people. Oh, perfectly centered. Perfectly centered. Oh, it feels smooth. That felt smooth. AUS 10A, Taiwan. New logo. All these knives have the new logos, people. All these are the GSM models. Oh, this one's... People, I'm telling you, these new GSM folders are nice. I don't know what it is. I think they're making the spring tensions a little bit weaker on the springs because they're just easier to operate. This knife is easy to operate, people. It's easy. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't even tuned it or anything. Straight out the box, this one's easy to operate. I think these are some of the best bargain that you can get in a mega folder right now from Cold Steel. Why do I say that? These are the G10 handle scales. The Espadas used to be the most expensive Cold Steel folders that you can get for, the Triad folders. The Espada series was the top of the line series for the Triad folders from Cold Steel. That's the way it used to always be. That's the reason why you see the polished ones and all that kind of stuff. They were the top of the line. The XL Espada was always known for being the one that held the most weight. Over 750 pounds without any issues. But the new GSM Cold Steel doesn't market them like that. I've noticed that. They market the Talwar over this one. The Talwar used to be beneath this one, as far as like pricing was concerned. That's what I'm talking about, pricing. The Espada, this was a knife that was always like $200 or something. It was an expensive knife. And the Espada was the one that you can get for the same price as a Recon. The Recons and the Espadas and the AK-47s and all those knives, they were like all around the same price range. And the Talwar was less expensive than the Espada. And now it's the opposite. The Talwar is more expensive than the Espada, a lot more expensive. You can get these for, I got this one for less than $100. I think it was like 90 something dollars with the rebates and everything. It was like $90, people. And it was being advertised at 127 or something like that. And then I had all my discounts and everything, and it came. I think I bought this one during the Midway Black Friday sale. I've had it for a while, people. I just haven't unboxed it. So, you can't beat these. To me, this is a beautiful knife. I like these just as much as the Talwars. Well, maybe the Talwar a little bit more. I like the Talwar a little bit more because I just like the way the handle is a little bit more. Nothing to do with the blade. It has to do with the handle. I like this handle better. But this is a really nice handle too. This was, designed after the Spanish Navajas. the folding swords. The Spanish Navaja is a Mediterranean knife that was real popular when swords were illegal to carry. They made folding swords, Navajas. And that's what this is supposed to be. Like this. This is a big Navaja for cold steel. But actually for Spanish Navajas, this would be small. Because they were a lot bigger than this, people. A lot bigger. Beautiful knives, people. Beautiful knives. Everybody should have a Espada, at least 1 or 2 Espadas in their collection. If you're a cold steel person, if you say you're a cold steel person, you don't have a Espada in your collection, I question that. Because you got to have Espadas. You got to have a Talwar. You got to have a Ti-Lite. You got to have a holdout. You got to have, your favorite Voyagers and the counterpoints. And you got to have a new Mayhem. You got to have a new Mayhem, people. The new Mayhems these are the most fidgety out of all of them. Of all the Megas. Well, you know why? Because they got the axis lock. This is super fidgety. I don't have to use any effort or anything to open this knife. It's super fidgety. All these others, I can't do that like that because they don't have the axis lock. The Atlas lock. But they do have a triad lock. And the triad lock, people, I must admit, is probably the lock that I trust the most for any kind of mega folder. If I'm going to go into combat, if I have to use one of these things for self-defense or anything like that, I want a triad lock, people. I know they got all these different kind of locks and everything else like that. But to me, the triad lock is the best because you can make a knife still lightweight and balance out, fairly nice. These are a little bit blade heavy, the Tontos, because the Tonto blade itself is heavier than like a clip blade. But they still balance out pretty nicely. Almost 50-50. Beautiful knife, people. Highly recommend these. Highly recommend all of these knives that you see on this table. All these knives that you see on this table. This one I swapped the scales with. This is the one I replaced this one with. This is my old G10 CTS-XHP Ti-Lite 6. And that came with the black scales. Now it has the OD green scales on it. Why is OD green scales on it? Because I took the limited edition scales off of this one and swapped the scales around. Now this one I think this one looks better with black scales. I like this one with green scales. To me, this looks like a military knife. Reminds me of the World War II, was it the V-42 or the Sykes daggers and the Fairbanks Sykes daggers? With the bayonet blade or the dagger blades. The star fits that same role. This is a folding stiletto. I know it's meant to look like an Italian stiletto. Oh, somebody was asking me about these. They said they were having problems closing it because it was like, it's too tight. And I'm just telling them you just have to use them. You use them and you just constantly fidget with them. And after a while, they break in. That's what happens with these. That's the one that one replaced. And, that others that I like. This is one that's really replacing right here. Or this one is. I love these. I love the Cold Steel Ti-Lite 6, people. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the knives that turned me on to Cold Steel, period. This is my fanciest one. Number 154, limited edition. With custom scale, 70-75 aluminum cold steel scales on it. From an older Ti-Lite. Totally polished out. That's a lot of work. It's not easy to do. But these are the ones that are in my drawer now. Absolutely love them, people. This is a new clip blade one. I must admit, though, this blade style is not my favorite style for a folding stiletto. It is the clip blades have been around for a long time, even with the Italian folding stilettos and the German folding stilettos. They're a little bit different. They're a little bit more, stabby, dagger shape, even though they were a clip. But this is cool too, though. This is Lindsey Thompson's version of it. It's cool. S35 EM blade. And this is a new one that I'm carrying now. This one that y'all just saw replace the old ones. And this way it came stock. I like these handle scales. These are the flat dark earth. I think that's FDE, flat dark earth. I think that's what it stands for. Flat dark earth scales. And these are Zytel. These are the Zytel scales. Zytel, I guess, is a different material from FRN or Grivex. It's like the first plastic material that Cold Steel used for handles back in the early 2000s. Zytel. Don't ask me what the difference is. I have no idea. I just know I like this knife. Beautiful. All right. Oh yeah, we all talked about the Mayhem, and we seen the big guy. This one is awesome, people. This is an awesome project. I really love doing this one. This is a gray handled one, and I dyed it with RIT synthetic purple, royal purple dye. Came out perfect. Love it. I really like to open up these with two hands. Even though I can do them with one hand and be kind of fancy and twirl around and stuff, I just feel safer. I'm being honest. I don't want to see anybody get hurt with one of these because I could easily see how somebody can get hurt trying to fidget with one of these or something like that. And I'm just going to say that to me, the XL Espada is a two-hand knife. I think it's just the safest way to operate one of these things is with two hands. You can do it with one hand, but I'm not suggesting that people really get into doing that because I could picture one of these blades folding back on somebody's hand and chopping off some fingers or doing some, making you have a hospital visit. You know what I mean? It's just like, you gotta be careful with, you gotta respect these big blades like this, people. Even though they got these modern triad locks and they can be fidgeted with and open and closed with one hand very easily. Sometimes just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And so that's my advice on this one, people. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Even if you see me doing it, I don't know if I'd recommend everybody else doing it. All right, people. Oh, here's my other new ones I highly recommend. The Holdouts. The Holdout 6-inch blade holdout. This has 6-inch blade. These, I think, are, I can't remember if that was 6 inches. I think, oh yeah, it is a 6-inch blade. Okay. This one's a 7.5-inch blade. This one is a 5.5-inch blade, 5.5-inch blade, 5.5-inch blade, 5.5-inch blade, 5.5-inch blade, 5.5-inch blade, 6 and 6. All right, people. This is a S35VN. New model. Hold out. It's being replaced. Replaces this one. This is my old one. This is the Oz 8 one. It's still one of my favorite knives to use, people. This is my kitchen knife. I use this in the kitchen. Whenever I have to chop up some meat or something. Oh yeah. Hold out to the rescue. And this one is so broken in, people. It operates like it's on bearings. You see how I'm operating this? The blade isn't loose. Don't think this blade's loose. It's not loose. But this is how these megas get when you use them. When you use them and you fidget with them and you carry them and have them for a long time. This knife is probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years old. It's been being used every year. It's never been in a safe. It's always been being used. It's always been out. Absolutely love it. Oz 8 is a good steel for the kitchen, people. It's easy, super easy to resharpen. And if you get a little ding in the blade, it's usually just a roll, and you can usually just strop it out. You strop out the roll and resharpen the blade and repair the blade without any damage. So Oz 8 has its place too. Whereas S35VN, I noticed, tends to not be able to do that. When you get a little ding in the blade in the S35VN blade, you have to, repair your blade. Because it's usually not a roll. It's usually like a little tiny chip or something. It's not even a chip. It's more like a ding. But, you got to get it out. You have to lose some steel to get it out. That's my point. These are beautiful knives, people. I love the holdouts. My favorite holdout is the holdout 6. It's the big one. My favorite Ti-Lite is the Ti-Lite 6. It's the big one. I only maybe have 2 or 3 of the small ones, people. I think I have one of these in a Kris blade. I have one in a plain blade, and then I have the original one, the very first one, about the 2001 titanium Ti-Lite that I have. Those are like my 3. Then I don't even know how many Ti-Lite 6s I have, but I knew I only have maybe 3 little ones. It's because I don't carry them. These are the ones I carry. If I'm going to carry one, it's going to be a Ti-Lite 6. To me, a folding stiletto is meant to be a self-defense folder, people. One that's easy to carry, easy to conceal, doesn't really imprint. It's not heavy, it's super light, so you can carry it all day without even noticing that you're carrying it. But if you have to use it and pull it out, it's super intimidating. That's what I like about these. These are super intimidating. And they can be used as cubitons. You know, you grab somebody's wrist and you apply the pressure with a cubiton. So it can be used as a blunt force instrument. You know, less than lethal blunt force instrument. It's got a lot of self-defense uses besides just a blade. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is a great self-defense folder. That's my opinion about that. I think it's a great self-defense folder. Next up, the Talwar. The Talwar. Everybody knows I love my Talwars. The Talwars, to me, are some of the greatest folders that Cold Steel's ever made for self-defense, for big, mega folder self-defense folders. I think this is one of the best ones. The balance on these is perfect. Can't get any better than that. Balance on these is perfect all day long. Balance, 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 balance. Perfect balance. Doesn't want to go anywhere. It's got perfect 50-50 balance at the finger groove. Absolutely love these people. Can't go wrong with the Talwar. Absolutely love them. This one's replacing my old one. And my old one was the Oz 8 one that I always carried. And as you can see, this one is like, it's another one that's like, it's on bearings. It's been carried and used so much, and I still like to carry it, people. I gotta be honest. This is one of my favorite ones to still carry. I sort of like it better than this one, people. Why? Because it's just fast. This one is fast. It's because, and the reason why it's fast, because it's completely polished. I polished the internals, the inside, even the G10 is polished to a mirror polish on the inside of this one. It's super smooth everywhere. Everywhere it's super smooth. And when you do that to these old ones, man, are they fast. Man, are they fast. So, the Oz 8 ones, to me, the original versions and the Oz 8, lots of times you would have more imperfections in those too. And I can remember repairing a lot of different knives that, the original Cold Steel knives. Like, people talk about imperfections nowadays in quality control. Well, actually, I think the original ones, like when they first started going into the triad folders, there was a lot of ones that weren't perfect. And that's probably the period of time when I returned the most of them. But none of them were like, wouldn't function or anything like that. It's just like you'd have problems with, knives going in lock blade, fixed blade mode, or they might have a slight bit of up and down play because the fitment wasn't right on the triad lock. But like this one right here, it had some issues too. And so I repaired this one. And I made it the way it is. That's the reason why I got all the work on it that got done on it. Usually, a lot of the times when you see these knives with a lot of work on them, my old ones, it's because they weren't perfect. I notice nowadays with the GSM company, now I don't know about the heat treats and stuff like that. I've heard people, complain about heat treats and stuff, but I don't know how true that is or not true it is, because I've used my knives and I haven't had any more problems than I ever had with any other knives. I mean, the blades wear just like all the other knives do. And it's my understanding that all these knives are still being made in the exact same factory, in the exact same place in Taiwan. So that means that they're using the same standards and doing the same way. So I don't have no problems knowing that. I know that the heat treats are the same. It's not like it's a different. I know it's a different company that owns it. GSM's not even the actual owner no more. GSM sold the company to somebody else now, but it's still the same factory. They're still making things the same at the same place. Now this new company is like it's like a shareholder company from my understanding, and so I don't know. Pay attention to what's going on with that though, people, because they might start letting things slip a little bit. Because GSM was an outdoor company. This new company, I think, is just basically just about shareholders. So you might want to pay attention a little bit. Pay attention to that, people. Pay a little bit of attention to that, and just pay attention to the quality. So far, all I can say is that everything I received is just as good, or if not better. All my Voyagers are better than the old Voyagers. All my Counterpoint XLs that I received are better than the old Counterpoint XLs. Ti-Lite 6s are about the same. Ti-Lite 6s are about the same. Espadas, they're about the same because Espadas were always good. Espadas never had really any issues. This one's better than my old ones, as far as like the way it functions out the box. This one's better than the old ones. The only one that I really had problems with out of all the new ones was this one, the Talwars. The Talwar XL, because I had to change the stop pin in it because they had the wrong stop pin size in it. They had a 5.97 millimeter thick stop pin in it. And when I say 5.7 millimeter, I'm talking about the inside diameter, not the pin size on the outside. The inside is a little bit thicker than where the pins actually fit into the scales. And it's supposed to be a 6.22 millimeter. I took one of the stop pins out of one of these, one of my old Oz 8 ones, my extra one that I have, and put it in here, and it worked perfect. Knife worked perfect after that. I let Cold Steel know about it. I don't know if they ever did anything about it or not, but I did let them know about it, people. I let them know about it more than once. Because I was trying to get them to, send me a new knife or let me replace the knives or whatever. They wouldn't do it. So the reason why they wouldn't do it, because I bought the knives off of eBay, and they said it was an unauthorized dealer. This is the knife that I bought off of eBay. It's not a knockoff. It's the real deal. It's when they first came out. I bought these when they very first came out, and they weren't even in the stores yet. And I had it on pre-order at Knife Center, and they popped up on eBay first. That's what happens a lot of times, people. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Things will pop up on eBay first before they actually get in the stores. Because I think people start selling, people that work for the companies or whatever, they start selling them on eBay first. And they were selling them at like $175 or something like that, and they were going for like $200 everywhere else. And so I bought two of them. I bought the plain edge and the serrated edge. And when I received them, both of them would go into lock. At first they didn't do it, but after I used them for a minute, then they would start going into fixed blade mode. I tried to contact, because I kept the knives, because I did a video on them, and then I set them aside, people. And I set them aside past the date that I could return them to eBay. And so I contacted GSM. It was a brand new company then, GSM, and let them know about my problem and see if I could return them. They wouldn't even let me send them in for evaluation to see if they were knockoffs or not. The old Cold Steel company would always tell you to send the knives in. And if it wasn't the real deal, they would let you know. And if it was the real deal and it had an issue, they would replace it or repair it. It was as simple as that. I did that a lot. I went through that a lot of times with Cold Steel. I always get the knives back within a week. They had the fastest customer service out of any knife company that I ever worked with. It's one of the reasons why I always liked them. I've heard people complain about the Ventura Cold Steel customer service, but I never had any problems like that. I never returned a knife and got it replaced, longer. It never took them longer than a week. They always contact me and let me know what was going on. They give me a choice of if the knife was still in stock and they could replace it, if they could replace it, or if I wanted something else instead. That's the way they used to always deal with me. I love the way the old Cold Steel company used to deal with things. The new GSM Cold Steel Company, their customer service, I don't have too much faith in them. But even now, it's, like I said, it's not even really GSM no more. You know, do your research on it. Let's see who they sold to. I can't remember exactly who they sold to, the name of the company. But I love my Talwars, people. Love my Talwars. Well, that's about it. Oh, wait a minute. No, we didn't go to the counterpoints. Counterpoints. Now, these are the new counterpoints. And these are beautiful knives, too. Now, this was one that I didn't buy on sale. It was a regular price counterpoint at MidwayUSA. It's when the serrated ones came out. This is the best operating counterpoint I've ever owned. I've never had a counterpoint that operated like this. This one operates perfectly right off the bat. Counterpoints were another knife that had issues when I first got it. This is my favorite counterpoint from the past. It's a BD1, CTS BD1. Yes, it's been totally polished. And why has it been totally polished? Because it had major issues and I had to totally go through this entire knife. And so I just redid everything. Made it, you know, the way I thought it should be from the factory. Absolutely love this knife, people. Now, this has been one of my favorites for many years. And it still is. But it didn't operate like this when I first got it. It was like super hard to close because the spring was way too strong. Beautiful knife. This one, right off the bat, is beautiful. Doesn't need any work. I haven't done anything to this knife except for give it a lube and tune. That's it. I haven't had to modify anything, deburr anything, polish anything, do anything to it. So if you guys want to get one of these that doesn't have any issues nowadays, get one of these new ones. One of these new ones are better, if you ask me. I think it's better. Now, with that said, I did buy recently, not too long ago, I'm sure a lot of y'all bought them with me, when they had these on sale for $35. I bought like 6 of them. I got a bunch of them I never even unpackaged, people. But this is one of the ones I did unpackage. I did notice that the grind lines were a little bit goofy right in here. Not enough to make me not want the knife or, whatever, because a lot of times, grind lines aren't perfect. But that made me think that maybe that's the reason why they were letting these go so inexpensively, because the grind lines were off a little bit. Because if you look at this one, the grind lines are perfect. Grind lines are perfect on this one. And the way that they thin out the blade thicknesses is a little bit different too. Look at the swedge on that. This is the one that I paid full price for. And this is the one I got for $35. This one's got a thinner swedge. They thinned it out more, and this one they didn't thin it out as much. Let's compare it to the way it was back in the day. Now it matches. So maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. And then when I did this, I noticed that the grind lines are sort of like the same too. This one's not as perfect as I thought it was. So that made me think, you know what? This is made the exact same way as the old ones. This is an old one. This is an old one, people, and it's got the exact same grind lines as this brand new one. It's got the same flaw. So I think that they might do these in a little bit different setup than they do the other ones, because look the way that the grinds are. It's a little bit different. So this one went through a little bit different process than this one did. This one went through the same process as all the old ones, I think. That's my guess. I don't know, people. That's my guess. And these have 6061 backspacers, whereas like the Voyagers have the Grivex backspacer. Let's talk about the Voyagers next. This is one of my favorites, people. All-time favorites. You can tell out of all these new ones, which ones get carried the most, because you can see which ones are the easiest to operate. I carry the mess out of these Voyagers, people. I think the Voyager is probably my favorite mega folder to carry. And because it's inexpensive and something happens to it, or if I have to use it, because I like to carry these things when I go on motorcycle rides. And if I have to use it like a tool and I damage the blade, it's inexpensive to replace, people. If it gets damaged so bad I don't want it no more if I want to replace it. It's inexpensive to replace. The Voyager to me is an awesome option for mega folders. If I was only going to get one, I'd probably get the Voyager, people. I'd probably get this one. All the rest of these are just, they all cost more and they all do the same thing. They all do the same thing. They just cost more and they're a little bit fancier. Maybe some are a little bit prettier or something like that. But when you get down to it, this is all you need. All you need is a Voyager. Voyager will do everything for you. And they make this, like I said, every kind of blade type. They make it in a Vaquero, the Tonto, a Kris, a Filipino Kris. What other? The Vaquero, the Tonto, the drop point, or what I call the Barong. They have all different kinds of blade types for these people. The Bowie or clip blade. This is the other new one that I got. I've been getting into serrated blades for my self-defense folders. Look. These are just beautiful, people. And they're balanced. So they're easy to manipulate. Easy to manipulate in your hand. They're balanced. Beautiful knives. Highly recommend the Voyagers, people. I can't recommend them more. This one I don't like the snaggletooth because I think of this one as more like a multi-purpose knife, like a survival knife. This is good for food prep, self-defense, what have you. These kind of blades I like to use for, like in the kitchen. I think they're good for good as a kitchen use blade too. My replacement for the Voyager. It's my old Voyager that I used to carry. Absolutely love them, people. I've always carried an XL Voyager Tonto. Always. And I always put a snaggletooth on them. I like these with the snaggletooth. These are beautiful knives, people. Highly recommend the Voyager. But with that said, let's go ahead and end this one. I think we went through all of them. That's what I wanted to do today. I wanted to go through all of these. And I want to talk about the new ones. Oh, yeah. The new ones. And both of these are going to get modded, people. Because I like my Espadas to be modded. I like everything in here to be polished. So I will be taking this one apart and polishing it. And taking just like I did the other one. I'll do the, pretty much the exact same mods I did on my original one. Where I polished, all the parts, the lock bar and all that. So I'll be doing the same things on this one because I want it to be this, operate the same way. They already operate smooth though. This one's smooth right off the bat. I'll just make it smoother. Beautiful knife, people. And this one's already smooth too. All I need to do on this one really is just give it a lube and tune, and I'm going to change the scales on it. I'm going to change the scales. I'm going to make it a purple frenzy. Purple frenzy, people. Purple frenzy. That's what this is going to be. All right, people. That's it for today. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Nice day today. I feel for my people in LA. My heart goes up for them. My prayers go out for them. I know a lot of those people don't have fire insurance because insurance companies have canceled giving people fire insurance in areas where they think are, a threat for fire. A lot of those homes, Pacific Palisades and Malibu and Zuma and all that, people, those are like some of the most beautiful parts of Los Angeles County. So, I know that's a mess. I know back in the old days, I was born in Los Angeles, raised in Northern California though. But all my family lives in Los Angeles, and a lot of them ride Harley Davidsons and stuff like that. And I used to go down there all the time and hang out with them and ride bikes with them and stuff like that. My cousin that's into hamsters, and they used to give me motorcycles to ride with them, go on rides with them and stuff like that. The number one place that they used to like to ride was along Highway 1, Zuma Beach and Malibu and Pacific Palisades, go up to the Rock store and hang out up there. And it's like, that'll burn down. That's a mess. So that's a lot of my personal memories too. So, I feel for those people. That's a beautiful part of California, people. It's a shame. I hope they can rebuild and restructure, but that's a mess. But anyway, my heart goes out to all those people. Peace. Stiletto. Y'all take care. Be safe.